Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to install RStudio and Quarto. Here you can see the outline of today's agenda. First we need to install R, and then RStudio, and lastly Latex. So Latex is for us to render or generate PDF files from RStudio. Now let's go to the first step, installation of R. Depending on the laptops you use, here I have two separate sessions. If you are using Windows laptops, then please go to section 1.1. Otherwise, please go to 1.2 if you are using a Mac computer. Because I'm using a Mac computer and Mac installation involves more steps, so in this guide, I will just go with the Mac computers. And by the way, if you have an older version of R or RStudio, please uninstall them before using this guide. This is to keep everyone on the same page during the lectures. And then if you ever switch to a new laptop during the turn time, then it's very important that you should follow this guide and reinstall R and RStudio. Now let's go to installation for Mac computers. So step 1, go to R's official website. In this link, you can click this hyperlink to go to R's official website, which I have already opened on the right hand side. So on this page, step 2, please click Crane on the download section. So there's a button here, Crane. Let's go to Crane, and now you see a new page. And this page actually are different download websites for the same R installation. Basically, they store the same installation files, but they are on different servers in different countries and in different locations, so you can choose the one that suits you best. I usually pick the first one. Now you see the download page for different operating systems. So this is for step 4. Because I'm using a MacBook, so I will click into download R for macOS. But if you are using Windows laptops, then you should click download R for Windows. After we click into this download page, now we can see this different installation packages. For MacBooks, there are two different types of MacBooks nowadays, and one is with Apple Silicon. If you are using M1 or M2 chips, CPUs in your laptops, then you should go with the first option here. Otherwise, if you are using an older Intel-based Macs, then you should click this second option. Because I'm using a M1 Pro MacBook, so I should click this version. So how do you check which CPU you are using in your MacBooks? You can simply click this Apple icon here, click About this Mac, and then for the chip, you should see the information of your CPU. On my laptop, I can see Apple M1 Pro, which means I'm using an Apple Silicon CPU here. Then on your screen, you may see other options like Intel-based or other Apple CPUs. Then you should choose the installation package depending on which CPU you are using. And here I have also attached the link for you to check if you are not familiar with which version of MacBook you are using. You can click into this Apple official guide on how to detect the CPU on your MacBooks. So after the installation file is downloaded, then we can open it. You should see this installation screen, then click continue, and then you just keep clicking the next buttons or continue buttons, and then click install to finish the installation process. You may be prompted to type your system passwords. So on Windows computers, this step is very similar. You can simply click next, next, next until the last step. So wait for the installation to finish. And step 6 here is only unique to MacBooks. So if you are using a Windows laptop, you don't have to do this step. We need to go to App Launchpad and then search for this Terminal app. So let me go to Launchpad, and then I can search for Terminal. Click this Terminal. After Terminal is there, then we can select this code, grayed out here, Xcode select install, paste it into terminal, and then hit enter button. If you haven't done this step before, you should see a progress bar going on, and then you would have this installation finished. But then because I have already installed this, so I see an error message here. Command line tools are already installed, so I don't need to reinstall it. So this marks the end of our installation. Step 2, we need to install RStudio. So R is the programming language, and then RStudio is the editor where we can write our programs. That's why, besides installing R, we also need to install RStudio. If you click into this link here, you would go to RStudio's official website, which I have already opened here. Now the company is called Posit. If we click Products, and then we can go to RStudio IDE, and then if we scroll down, we can download the RStudio desktop, the free version. Then scroll down, click download RStudio. Actually, here the website prompts us that you should install R first, which we have already installed. So we can just directly go to RStudio. If you click this button, then RStudio will be downloaded to your download folder. And after the file is downloaded, then we can simply move this RStudio icon to application. Here, because I already have RStudio installed before, so if you want to override or upgrade your RStudio copy, you can click replace. Otherwise, if you haven't installed RStudio before, then after the copy process is done, then you should have RStudio installed on your laptop. So for Windows users, on this download page, you should download two components. One is the base R, the other one is the R tools. You should download these two and also install both files. R tools is necessary for us to compile or build some packages later on. So please remember to download both files and install both. And then to finish the R installation, lastly, we need to download and install this Quarto plugin. So I have provided a link here. You can simply click into this link, and then you should see this download page. Based on your operating systems, again, if you are using a macOS, you can download this Quarto for macOS package, or if you are using Windows, you can download this AMSI file and then install this Quarto components. Now we have R and RStudio installed on our computers. Next, we need to install Latex. As you can see on the right hand side, I have already launched my RStudio. So to install Latex, after we launch RStudio, we can copy this command into after this triangle here, paste it into this triangle. This triangle here is called console. So once we copy the code here, we can hit enter. And then RStudio will install this TinyText package. So this TinyText package will provide us with the Latex function. Once we have installed this package, next, please copy another line of code, TinyText, install TinyText here into the console, and hit enter button. If you haven't installed Latex before, you should see a progress bar going on. But here on my computer, I already have Latex installed. So it asked me whether I want to continue the installation anyway. Here I would click no, because I don't want to overwrite my files. But then if you would like to have a fresh new installation of Latex, you can hit Y here. So after this installation process finishes, you should have Latex installed on your laptop. Finally, to check whether everything has been successfully installed, I have some steps for you to do the test. First, launch RStudio from your computer And if you see this screen here without any error messages, like on the screenshot here, it means you have installed R and RStudio successfully. And to do some very simple test here, you can do some simple calculations like 1 plus 1 after this triangle. If you hit enter, if you see a 2 here, then it's very likely you have successfully installed R. And to test whether Quarto is properly installed, please follow these steps. So here we want to build a new Quarto document. So I will click this green plus button, and then I will click create a new Quarto document. Here please select PDF, and then please click create. So this is like the default document for us to test whether Quarto is successfully installed. Please click render. Here I can save it as a file called test, and then you would see the progress bar going on down here. Once the process is done, on the right hand side, RStudio will give us the generated PDF file. As you can see, Latex and Quarto are working perfectly fine on my laptop. So these are all the steps I would like to share with you today for installing RStudio and Latex. So if you have any issues with the installations, one day before the RBasics tutorial, there will be an optional TA drop-in session. So please feel free to go to that session. This year, the section will be on Tuesday from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. So please feel free to drop in the session if you have any issues with your R installation.